Hello guys, it's Revolution. So I know what you're thinking, why the fuck are you putting Sonic in a fight against Son Goku? Never mind Ultra Instinct Goku. Well guys, Ultra Sonic is no joke. Now from a personal standpoint, I've always enjoyed playing Sonic games. I used to play the games quite regularly on Master System, Mega Drive, Sega Saturn and Dreamcast. I haven't really kept up with the gaming series, and I certainly haven't kept up with the comic series until recently when people kept putting forward to me Archie comic Sonic vs Goku. So I thought, you know what, there's got to be a bit of basis to this, I'll check it out. And I can honestly say, my respect for Sonic has just risen through the roof. My mind was blown. This guy has some incredible feats, but are they going to be enough to topple Goku's latest and greatest transformation, Ultra Instinct? Now pretty much everyone and their mum has heard of Super Sonic. Super Sonic, who was incidentally heavily inspired by Super Saiyan Goku from the Namek Saga, is an extremely powerful transformation that requires the 7 Chaos Emeralds and 50 Golden Rings. And you may have also heard of Hyper Sonic as well, but in this video we are talking about Ultra Sonic from the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog series, where he needs a Super Emerald and a large amount of rings to transform, and this transformation gives him a plethora of abilities. But just before we delve into who lays the smackdown in this verse battle, I just want to ask a quick question. This is a little off topic to what I usually ask. Which is your favourite ever Sonic game on a console and why? Mine's probably the original Sonic and Knuckles, or possibly even the original Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast. Drop your favourite game in the comment section and why. If you're doing that, I just want to give my humble gratitude to you all. This channel is going from strength to strength and I truly appreciate all your continued support. Keep smashing that like button, keep lending me your energy. Feel free to share my content with your friends or on any social media platform, and make sure you subscribe if you want to be notified on any future content. And there's lots of it coming your way. Make sure you're subscribed. So first off, we're going to start off with Ultra Instinct Goku. Now obviously this is predominantly a Dragon Ball channel and I've covered Goku's power many a time. So if you're a long time follower of the channel, you may have already seen some of this, so I'll try and keep it short and sweet. Goku in Dragon Ball Super, especially come the end of Dragon Ball Super, is an absolute behemoth in power. Ultra Instinct is an incredibly powerful transformation. In fact, even Super Saiyan Blue is an incredibly powerful transformation. Scrap that. Even Goku in his base form is incredibly powerful. So what I usually do is I put forward two ways of scaling Goku in Dragon Ball Super, and that is the feats and statements way of scaling as well as the key multiplication way of scaling. The reason I do this is because Dragon Ball isn't actually particularly a feat heavy series in comparison to other series, and there are power scalers out there, especially from the comics community, that aren't particularly familiar with the lore of Dragon Ball, that will only accept feats or statements as a way of scaling. Whilst I don't particularly agree with that notion, I do empathise with that way of thinking, simply because obviously in Dragon Ball, the more ki you have, the more it exponentially increases your power. And Goku is rapidly increasing in power all the time, and it's implied that he is getting multiple times stronger without him necessarily showing a feat to prove that he's that strong. So it's therefore implied, which is why I talk about the key multiplication way of scaling. Multiply your ki, you multiply all your combat abilities, and therefore your power output grows exponentially. This is what we've been told since early Dragon Ball. It's part of the through line of the narrative of the Dragon Ball series as a whole. Of course, with this way of scaling, Goku is easily at multiversal levels of power by the time he gets to Ultra Instinct, and I'm saying easily, but at the same time it's hard to believe that he's at those levels of power because he's never demonstrated such feats. I guess you could say fighting against an opponent of a certain level is a certain feat, but I'm talking about in terms of destroying a certain 3 or 4 dimensional object. We have certainly never seen Goku destroy a multiverse, even though it's implied that through his power increases he probably could, but at the same time, why would he do that? What would be his motivation to destroy a multiverse? It wouldn't make any sense in the coherent narrative of the Dragon Ball story. So the two ways of scaling, the feats and statements scaling. In episode 28 of Dragon Ball Super, Whis and Bado stated that if Champa and Beerus, the two gods of destructions of Universe 6 and Universe 7, fought each other, they would decimate Universe 6 and 7. These are two universes that are actually macrocosms. The Universe 7 macrocosm in the Daizenshu has been depicted as having Mortal Universe, which essentially represents our very own universe in size. Then it has the Cosmos, which is basically where the other world is, which is similar in size. It even has a layer of hell which is pretty big in itself, and then it also has the radius created by the supreme world of the Kais. It's 3 times the size of our universe. Universe 6 is pretty much the twin universe to Universe 7. Beerus and Champa were going to destroy both of these universes. In fact, they would have impacted 2 universes across a 5th dimensional axis. Well, upon achieving Ultra Instinct Omen Phase 3 in episode 128 of Dragon Ball Super, the Jump magazine revealed that it would be this version of Goku that was somewhat relevant to Beerus. Some people have pointed out that it may have been Mastered Ultra Instinct, and that possibly is the case, but it's either one of them. So if Goku is relevant to Beerus with these transformations, then, you know, he should be multi-universal even by feats and statements. And then of course there's the key multiplication way of scaling, and personally the way of scaling that I would advocate. Increase your ki, you increase all your combat abilities, speed, strength, defense, you name it, it all increases exponentially in terms of attacking potency. And the attacking potency doesn't grow at a linear rate, it actually grows exponentially. A good example of this was way back in early Dragon Ball when Goku with a power level of 10 using the Kamehameha for the first time only managed to destroy a car. In fact, he didn't really destroy it, he just damaged it. Then with Master Roshi with a power level of 139 completely vaporized the moon. I think it's safe to say that the moon amasses for more than 14 cars. And there's also a big difference between destroying something and vaporizing something as well. And of course that was way back in Dragon Ball. How strong is Goku now? Well, of course the biggest feat we've really seen that is definitely a quantifiable feat was way back in the Battle of God Saga when Goku and Beerus nearly shattered Universe 7 Macrocosm. As I mentioned earlier in the video, that's 3 times the size of our very own universe with 3 blows. You could at least pit this at half a universe of attacking potency each, as it was a shared feat. Obviously, Goku perfected his technique which ultimately nullified the impact of each blow, which ultimately stopped the universe from crumbling. But this was going to happen. Not just the older Kai, but Whis and even the narrator confirmed that the universe, the world, was going to end because Battle of Gods Super Saiyan God Goku and a heavily suppressed Beerus were simply too strong. Obviously since then, Goku has absorbed this Super Saiyan God power into his own being, can stack Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, even Super Saiyan God again, what is now known as Stacked Super Saiyan God, as well as Super Saiyan God turning Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20, and now even Ultra Instinct on top of that Saiyan Beyond God base form. That's as strong as Battle of God Super Saiyan God. By the time you stacked all the multipliers for these transformations on top of Saiyan Beyond God, he would be at multiversal levels of attacking potency easily, potentially even mid-multiversal levels of power. Dragon Ball characters have been hitting light speed since the Saiyan saga in Dragon Ball Z, especially the stronger characters in that saga. Some people do argue even earlier, but there's been plenty of feats after that to suggest so, as well as the fact that in Dragon Ball Super, Goku is faster than Dispo, who even the Omni King Zeno couldn't keep up with in terms of speed, a guy who literally obliterated a multiverse within a few split seconds. Goku is massively faster than light, and then when you take into account mastery of self-movement, Ultra Instinct, Goku's body literally moves without thought. It removes the delay caused by the thought process and allows his body to move out of way of harm. This doesn't mean it's impenetrable though, as Jiren showed in episode 130. Awakened Jiren landed 6 blows in total on Ultra Instinct Goku until Goku used a pure progress-like ability that amped his power but was most likely detrimental to the time in the form. Simply put, Ultra Instinct is a very advantageous technique and ability to have, but if the opponent is far faster, far stronger, and is strategically aware enough to use Ultra Instinct against you, it can be beaten. The State of the Gods took its toll on Goku's mortal body and ultimately only lasted somewhere around 45 seconds to a minute. Goku's a martial arts genius, can use impressive techniques such as instant transmission, as well as the Kamehameha, a ranged attack, and this motherfucker even has the audacity to ski on your attacks if you're not strong enough. Anyway, to conclude with Ultra Instinct Goku, he's at multiversal levels of attacking potency easily. You can make a case for mid-multiversal. He is massively faster than light, a martial arts genius, an impressive arsenal of techniques. However, Ultra Instinct doesn't particularly last that long and has an extreme toll on his mortal body. Quite simply put, Ultra Instinct Goku is a monster. Now, onto his opponent, Ultra Sonic from the Archie comics of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I will say this now, if you're not familiar with this version of Sonic, drop all your preconceived ideas on how strong Sonic is, because this is going to blow your mind. Now, a lot of people accept that computer game characters are extremely powerful, but their powers and feats that they pull off in the games don't make that much coherent sense. But if you're watching this video rather than listening to it like a podcast, which is absolutely fine by the way, you will see many Sonic game cutscenes playing throughout this video. However, this version of Sonic, the Archie comic Sonic, isn't from a video game, it's from a comic book. So the Archie comic Sonic the Hedgehog is basically just an American book series published by Archie Comics, of course, and they work in partnership with Sega. The series is based on Sega's video game franchise, but also includes a lot of its own exclusive material. The series in total ran for over 20 years, spanning 290 issues. However, we are going to be focusing on the pre-Genesis era, which spanned from issue 1 to issue 250, when it was ultimately rebooted in 2013 in what is now known as the post-Genesis Archie Comics Sonic era, which ultimately ended the entire series in 2017. Regardless, we are going to be focusing on the pre-Genesis era, where some absolutely monstrous feats happen. But it must be said, as with most comics, it was also the case with the Archie comics that the writers changed regularly throughout the years. So Sonic's powers aren't the most consistent throughout the series, but we are focusing on the high-end feats of Archie Sonic. Of course though, Sonic is absolutely synonymous for his speed, and that's what we're going to start with. Even in base Sonic was able to cross a multiverse twice in less than a day, when he crossed the multiverse and eventually arrived in the reverse universe of his own. That isn't just some outlier speed of Sonic's, he has managed to do this kind of thing consistently. In the 19th issue of Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog, Knight of 1,000 Sonics, Robotnik, or Eggman if you're less familiar with the Robotnik term, turned into a machine to be able to defeat the freedom fighters of his universe and became Robo Robotnik. He became so powerful that the freedom fighters of his universe were literally unable to defeat him. The Sonic of that universe, who happened to be a cyborg Sonic, travelled through the multiverse for help, eventually reaching the Sonic we all know and love, and obviously Sonic decided to go and help him. Sonic travelled through the multiverse and searched for several of his alternate versions to help with the Robo Robotnik threat. To do this, Sonic and Cyborg Sonic literally had to travel through what is called the Cosmic Interstate, which is an enormous highway that pretty much allows you to reach any point of the multiverse. It allows you to access any universe through portals. Don't get it twisted. These portals aren't just access from one universe to another. You literally have to travel across this highway to reach a portal to gain access to that universe, whichever universe you want to choose. Portals merely serve as doorways from the interstate into the universes. You could literally call this interstate a fifth dimensional construct because you can access any 3 and 4 dimensional continuum from this space that contains an infinite amount of universes. Cosmic Interstate has even been referred to as an interdimensional highway. The Sonic multiverse is implied to be infinite, and there are said to be an infinite amount of Sonics residing in that multiverse. Sonic crossed a good portion of this multiversal interstate within a space of around an hour or 2 hours. There are a lot of fan calculations out there regarding this particular feat, some low end, some high end, but no matter which way you spin it, this pits Sonic at massively faster than light in his base form. One version of Sonic was even able to outrun the Time Stopper, literally a being who could stop time. Sonic outran that. In another issue, Sonic ran so fast that time actually stopped. Then of course we have Super Sonic, who was able to fight and match the likes of Mogul and Solaris. Master Mogul, who Super Sonic fought, literally makes up most of the power of the Master Emerald, which is basically an emerald capable of destroying an infinite realities, and not just destructive capacity but creational capacity as well, in creating a new multiverse after that destruction. Master Mogul is literally a high multiversal being. He also managed to fight against Solaris, another high multiversal level being who was literally capable of devouring all of space-time within the pre-Genesis multiverse. Once again guys, this multiverse contains an infinite amount of universes, as well as the fact that just by moving, Solaris was capable of literally travelling to a different time period. Super Sonic was able to match blows with characters of this stature. And once again, that's Super Sonic. Ultra Sonic is even more powerful than Super Sonic. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, Ultra Sonic is powered by a Super Emerald, which is more powerful than the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Now, in issue 251, the 7 Chaos Emeralds are said to have no limits when it comes to reality warping. Super Sonic is using those Chaos Emeralds, so naturally he can produce Chaos Control powerful enough to literally rewrite the entirety of the Sonic multiverse. Supersonic can destroy and rewrite at least 1 million universes using chaos control. No wonder he can fight and trade blows with the likes of Master Module, who is potentially a low quantiversal being. Supersonic can move close to immeasurable speeds, and Ultrasonic, naturally being stronger and faster, can move even faster. In issue 71 we even see Sonic transform into Supersonic and then transcend into Ultrasonic. But those are incredible feats that Sonic and Supersonic were able to achieve. Ultrasonic's faster, and obviously that goes hand in hand with his attacking potency, competing with the likes of Master Module and Solaris, as well as Hedgehog, who is basically a demigod who literally used avatars to contain his essence. Knuckles was his 4th avatar. He ultimately fought against Supersonic. It has been stated that Hedgehog has nearly unlimited power, which is only restricted by the avatar's imagination. In fact, remember Mammoth Module? He literally absorbed Hedgehog's power, and it wasn't even a fully powered Hedgehog. True Hedgehog is an absolute monster. Hedgehog is simply a being on a higher plane of reality. He is a higher dimensional being. Once again, I will note that Hedgehog was weakened whilst fighting Supersonic, but like I said, Ultrasonic is stronger than Supersonic. He uses a Super Chaos Emerald, so logically should be stronger than the Chaos Force demigod. But to be able to compete with these level of beings, Supersonic is at high multiversal levels of power. Obviously Ultrasonic's even stronger. As Supersonic, he took multiple blows from Hedgehog, proving that he has high multiversal levels of durability. He can give as good as he gets. He has limitless stamina as Supersonic, and Ultrasonic is a pretty adept martial artist himself. He's capable of time manipulation, reality warping. As Supersonic, he has an aura that pretty much cleanses evil. He's resistant to magic. He has air manipulation, atom manipulation, and he even has reliant immortality. He once resisted the erasure of the Ultimate Annihilator, though this does require him having quite a large amount of power rings. As Ultrasonic, he can literally move that fast. He can open dimensional portals and literally trap foes in the other realm. So to wrap up Archie Sonic, Ultrasonic can move at immeasurable light speeds, is high multiversal in attacking potency and durability, has a plethora of hacks abilities, has limitless stamina with the Chaos Force. This guy is truly just a monster, but would he beat Ultra Instinct Goku from Dragon Ball Super? Well guys, my channel is based on Dragon Ball, and I don't think you need me to tell you this after what we've just been through concerning Ultrasonic. Goku would literally have no chance against Ultrasonic. Archie Sonic, especially Supersonic and Ultrasonic, is simply just an OP character. You could say that it doesn't make a lot of coherent sense as why is that powerful. And you could also argue that for Goku's saving grace, Sonic relies on the power of Chaos Emeralds, Power Rings, and the Super Emerald, whereas Goku's power is pretty much his own. You could make an argument that with the key multiplication scaling being mid-multiversal levels of power, with the mastery of self-movement, he'd be able to stay in the fight for a short while against Ultrasonic. But ultimately, based on the feats of Archie Sonic and all the amps he gets through all the items he uses, he would just be far too strong, and throw in limitless stamina as well. Goku just simply has no way he can win. Blue Saga levels of Goku should be able to beat base Archie Sonic, and obviously that means even base Goku from Battle of Gods onwards should be able to beat base Sonic from the Archie comics as well. Certainly not in terms of raw speed, but at least in terms of raw power. But the Supersonic amp that Sonic gets from those Chaos Emeralds is absolutely immense, and even far surpasses Ultra Instinct. The Ultra Amp is simply just next level shit. However, Goku is not the most powerful character in Dragon Ball Super. Would you like to see the Grand Priest take on Archie Sonic, or would you even like to see another version of Goku who is also more powerful than Dragon Ball Super Goku, Xeno Goku, take on Ultra Sonic? If you want to see one of those characters take on Ultra Sonic, make sure you smash that like button. There is an eye in the top corner right now which is giving you a poll on who you would prefer to see take on Ultra Sonic, and let me know why down in the comment section as well. Check out some of my other verse battles, including other characters from other verses other than Dragon Ball. Revolution may be a predominantly Dragon Ball channel, but I'm not afraid to call it as it is. I'll link them all at the end of this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified in the future about future releases. Until next time, Ad Astra.